Is up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. I hope that your week is going well. Excuse me, my eyes are welling. I don't like to take man made products. So, this is allergy season in Michigan. So, I'm just trying to up my resistance to all these pollens with natural honey. So, I'm waiting for this Michigan Bee Co honey to work so I can stop wailing. But it's life. It's life. If you are new to my channel, you know that I talk about any and everything. I talk about social, I talk about political, I talk about religious topics because I do think that all of these things are intertwined. They all connect with each other. I do believe as people on this earth, we are dealing with both flesh and spirit, and we're dealing with the principalities of both fleshly men and also the spirit realm. And I know it's kind of kooky for some people to think about the spirit realm, but they don't really realize that what our brothers in the spirit are doing, it does impact what is happening on this earth, especially our fallen brothers. And I know it's perplexing when people hear me speak of fallen angels that occupy the earth as brothers, but they are our brothers. We have unholy brothers of the spirit, and we have holy brothers of the spirit. And really, it's just your choice which of those brothers you are tapping into. A lot of people are tapped into the unholy spirits, the unholy spiritual brothers, and unfortunately, they cause a lot of chaos among men. They cause a lot of disruption, and a lot of them are double talking demons. And I think when you look at life and the world from a social, political, and spiritual perspective, and you see how everything kind of ties together, you kind of move different, you think different, and you have a better emotional balance in how you look and receive things. You are my favorite gay YouTuber. Thanks. I'm not gay, but whatever. There's always going to be that passionately ignorant person coming in there. I've had 3 children, carrying them in my body. Gay people can't do that unless they're kind of switching their brains. Either way, I'm a natural born woman. But we always have those passionately ignorant, actually ugly people come in trying to throw shots because something that I said irritated the demon in their souls. This is why I do not read comments a lot of time because you got a lot of demonic spirit people, right? And they come in here flexing their demonic emotions and they're trying to get a reaction. They're trying to break the Holy Spirit within you, and you just kind of rebuke these demons and you move on. So, the topic today, we're talking about Black delineation again. And this has been a perplexing topic for a lot of people. And some people even believe that this Black delineation thing is coming out of nowhere, right? And it really isn't. Like, there's been a lot of Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, ADOS Freemen, who have been delineating themselves for a while. And then there's some who never really thought about delineation. So, and that I'm one of those people. I've never ever thought about delineating myself from any other black looking person in America until recently. And the reason why I've decided to jump on the delineation train is because I understand that there are certain black looking people who are not aligned with black culture, black causes. They have zero interest in them, but yet because their face is black, they can be faces to the conversations of black people. They can be leveraged. You guys are going to hear me use that word a lot, leveraged to be faces to black people. And this is very problematic a lot of times when you're talking about things that are meaningful to foundational black American freemen, like reparations, right? And I said it before, and I will say it again. Byron Donalds is not a black American. He is a product of immigrants. He is Panamanian and Jamaican. Those are not Black Americans. Those are not foundational. So when you hear a person like Byron Donalds get on a mic and talk about why he's not for reparations, he's stating his case because his lineage, his Black looking people, do not qualify for them. And so when you think about all these Black looking people speaking on behalf of foundational Black Americans, you start to, think that, you know what, maybe we should separate the sheep from the wolves here, right? Because I look at certain Black looking immigrants as being more leverageable than foundational Black Americans. We have seen and we have looked at our oppressors so long in the eye that they're not just going to be flexing on us like they can flex on those people, right? But I also started delineating when I started going into some of these Black looking immigrant type people's think tanks, and I hear how they talk cash shit about Black Americans. And I'll give you an example. I was in a business networking Black business group, right? And I'm thinking we're all Black people. We are all business owners. We are all here to encourage each other. The woman who was leading this group was a Caribbean woman. And there were a lot of Caribbean people in this group. And for some reason, as we're going, she's talking about the purpose of the group. She had the nerve to say that, yes, and with Black Americans, we just need to help them. She was demonizing Black Americans. And I don't know if she didn't realize that there were actually Black American business owners in this virtual meeting as well. So when it got to me introducing myself, I said I told them my name, what I do. I'm in financial services, and I am a foundational Black American, right? And even though there are segments of our community that need some help, there are a lot of Black people making strides. So I think that we should take care not to blanket Black people. Obviously, that shut her down, right? But that irritated me because without Black Americans, your Caribbean Black looking self wouldn't be over here. And a lot of these Black looking people don't realize that the fights, the struggles, the plights that we choose to take on because they're too weak and they're too compliant, right? They are beneficiaries of these things, whether they want to admit it or not. You are not foundational. You did not build America at all. You were not a part of those bloodlines that actually contributed to the building of America. You weren't. You are a beneficiary. And a lot of these people don't realize how much of a beneficiary that they are. But then on the flip side, some of these people, they take their Black hate to a new level and they will go into these white supremacist think tank and they will be shields for them. They will definitely cleave on to these think tanks and just talk cash crap about Black people. This is why Black delineation in America is happening. And Black delineation in America makes everything more complicated. It makes everything more complicated because now you can't have these political parties just throwing bunches of ethnic garbage at Black people and saying that they're Black. So we're reclaiming our Blackness and we are reclaiming our Black people. And a lot of people have a problem with that, right? They can have all the supremacy and pride of their people, but when it comes to Black people having a level of pride and cultural preservation and protection, now it's problematic because there's been too many people owning the Black narrative. There have been too many buck dancers and tokens who can demonize and compromise the Black narratives that now this is necessary. Everybody gets the call out, right? But Tariq Nasheed was saying something very interesting, and I want you guys to hear what he is saying because a lot of people try to narrate Tariq as being a Black supremacist. They try to narrate the brother as being racist, but really, this is about Black American cultural preservation and reclaiming our narratives. And it's reclaiming it also not just from white supremacist structures, but these Black looking leverageable biscuit mammies and buck dancers.
These folks who are non FBA, the reason why They are useful to the white supremacists usually when they have some level of credibility, when they can come among us and be critical as they're performing for white people. They like to stand among us and say, well, yeah, we need to get it together. We black folks ain't worth nothing. We black folks are so lazy. We black folks need to stop begging. And if they're allowed to stand there and claim to be a part of us, that gives them a certain level of legitimacy with white people, because that's who they're trying to impress. They're trying to impress white people. So the fact that they can get among us to lower the collective esteem by spewing all of these anti-black talking points among us, as they get a couple of crumbs from the white supremacists, that's the thing that makes them valuable. You dig? So that white people can say, hey, look, I'm not racist. That black guy over there who's
I want to stop real quick because I just read a comment. Some passionately ignorant white looking person, and he's like, she's a Democrat, right? And I think, and I just did a short on this too. It's perplexing for a lot of people when they see black independence, right? It's so perplexing to them because they come into our live streams, they come into our spaces, and they start spouting this ridiculous, assuming rhetoric about us. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I don't subscribe to those demonic political parties, right? But it's perplexing to people when they hear black independence because we are intelligent enough where we can take points from this group and we can take points from this group and we can make sensible assessments of those points. So while you're on this echo chamber ignorance and maybe this one, we're not on a bandwagon of ignorance. So we're not like you. And that could be perplexing for you. We actually can critically think. And part of critical thinking is not being on a bandwagon of ignorance. It's actually making independent assessment of what either point or either side is saying. So, sir, please remove your assuming ass from my chat.
who's a spokesperson for Black Society, he said the same thing I said. He said that the blacks are lazy.
These people are so beneath me.
And he's somebody who's somewhat of a black leader. Now, when we call these tethers out.
4 years ago.
Oh. Hold on. We don't do political commercials over here. We don't do political commercials over here. We don't advocate for those double talking demons.
These tethers are ousted, and we say, hey, Myron Gaines and Sneeko and these people, they're not us. They're not from our lineage. Therefore, they're not representatives of our culture. These people are outsiders. They do not represent us whatsoever. Do you know the delineation makes the Myron Gaines of the world completely damn useless?
That's a great point, right? When these white supremacists look at these black looking supremacists that side with them, number one, they don't respect them, right? White supremacists will never respect a person that turns against their own people. They won't. They don't, right? But they will leverage these people. They will leverage these people all day because sometimes it's better to have a black face or a black looking face to say something that you really want to say. But a lot of these white supremacists are professionals. They work at companies that trade on the stock exchange. So they don't want to put their careers on the line saying what they really feel like saying. So what they're going to do is leverage these black looking shields like Myron Gaines and all these other black looking people to say exactly what they feel or itch to say about black people and keep themselves safe. But when these white supremacists realize that even black Americans are delineating themselves from these shields that they use to protect themselves, from the racist things that they want to say, what happens is those shields become useless, right? So when black people look at a Myron Gaines and he's talking cash crap about black people for these white supremacist think tanks, right? And then the white supremacist think tanks realize that black people don't even look at you as black, right? they're rejecting you as part of their fold. So you're useless to us. You are very useless to us because you're pretty much the same animal talking about the other animal.
They are useless as hell to the white supremacists because since they are outsiders, the white supremacists can't use them as shields. You
They're
can't use
useless.
them as a shield to say, hey, well, Myron Gaines said that black people are lazy, but Myron Gaines is not respected and he's not a part of foundational black American culture. He's an outsider like you. So you are two outsiders spewing anti-black racism. So he's not going to be your cover. You're basically
So he's that's basically what a lot of these white supremacist mindset people, and if you are a white person and you hear white supremacist, don't internalize it to yourself unless you are truly a white supremacist. Like, white people need to be intelligent. Don't be triggered when you hear white people or white supremacists. If you know this does not apply to you, then keep it moving. We're not talking about you. We're talking about your brothers that are, right? But these, your brothers that are, they love leveraging black looking people. These Uncle Ruckuses, right? These Clayton Bigsbys, they love them because they're just trying to get tokens. They're just trying to get biscuits, right? And they're like little sociopaths, right? They disconnect themselves from anything that they're doing, right? So Myron Gaines, he's giving sociopath to me, right? Because this dude is literally trying to get these white supremacists to accept him. He's trying to get cookies and brownie points from these white supremacists, and all he has is, I'm going to get on the internet every day and talk generalized cash crap about black people because there is a demographic of people that love to hear people talk about black people negatively, right? It's crazy to me how much people hate black people, right? How the hell do you just have so much hate for something that you feel like is inferior? Like, you gotta be a dumb, weird ass sociopathic person to say that person is inferior, right? And then you hate them. You give so much energy to a group of people that you deem inferior. I don't think that black people are inferior at all. I don't even think that these people think that we are inferior. I think that they are afraid. They are afraid of our capabilities, and they are afraid of the superiority of many black people above them. And so some of these people, they need black inferiority because they are some of the most inferior people in society. It is usually the most low value, inferior people in society of all colors that just have the most to say about black people.
basically co-signing another person who's anti-foundational black American. So you're just doubling down on your white supremacy by doing that. You see, that's why they kick Myron out of spaces and call him the N-word. He's useless to them. You see?
Right, because even the white supremacists know that black people don't accept you. Even the white supremacists know that you are an immigrant, and these foundational black Americans are looking at you for what you are, which is an immigrant. You're not a foundational black American, you are a beneficiary to their struggles. So now these white supremacists, they're stepping back and they're giving him the black people treatment. Right? They're calling him N-words. They're asking him to promise that when they take back their country, that Myron will go back to his country. These are the things that these white supremacists are saying to this black looking man. Would Kwame Brown call them patch-eyed demons? Right? This is what these people are saying to this man, and yet he is begging to be in their space. Why? Because now you are rejected. Now black FBAs and the white supremacists, we have a mutual force to not respect, and it's people like Myron Gaines. We actually got something in common. FBAs and the white supremacists, we have something in common. We don't like or respect people like Myron Gaines.
When we delineate, We neutralize a lot of threats across the board.
Notice what Tariq said. When we start delineating, we neutralize a lot of threats across the board because we neutralize people like Myron and even Candace Owens when we reject them in the black fold. Now they just become black looking people talking about black people who reject them. All right. These people think that they can go around getting their white supremacist brownie points, talking about black people all kinds of ways. They're getting their wake up call. A lot of these people are being demonetized. The white supremacist masters that empowered them are turning their backs on them, right? These people are going to get enough of going against foundational black Americans, right? They're going to get enough of that, right? So Tariq is absolutely right. Tariq is absolutely right. You know, these black white supremacists, these Clayton Bigsby's, they are useless to the white supremacists when black Americans say they're not like us. They are not one of ours. So y'all can talk about black people until the cows come home. But we want you to know that what you have in front of you talking about a foundational black American is not a foundational black American. So anything that he says about us is moot. You're not going to use this non-black person to be a face of talking about black people and anybody to take. We're going to show you that you can't. Nobody's going to take these people seriously because even if they look black, they are not black. Black people reject them. So now you just got yourself a black-looking immigrant token that's talking about black folks just like you. You're the same beast. You're the same beast. So I appreciate Tariq getting on the mic and really reinforcing why this delineation movement in America is necessary because there are too many black looking people that can get on a mic on white supremacist platforms and talk cash shit about black people and then turn around when these white supremacists are rejecting them to say we're all part of the same diaspora. We're all we're all black people. It's like, no, we're all black people, right? When the white supremacists have turned their backs on you. We're all black people when the white supremacists turn their backs on you. But as long as they're empowering you, enabling you, you're going to talk cash shit about black people. You're going to narrate black people in a negative way. Same way with Candace Owens, right? She literally said, I was paid. I was encouraged to talk negatively about black people. This is how Candace and a lot of these other Uncle Ruckuses, black people get their biscuits. But we see the recourse of that. Those same people that will empower these black looking people will take them down. And they will have them scrambling back to black people. Because that's all I see Candace Owens is doing. Come on, it's not black. It's like, girl, you can do all the research you want about something that black people already knew. Black people were already saying, we reject this, right? But hey, you want to pull up receipts all day? We'll look at them. We'll look at them. But you're running back to black. You're running back to black after your white supremacist structure that empowered you to narrate, feed the stereotypes about black people after they rejected you. So, hey, it's a wake-up call for all these folks, all right? I don't like to be disrespectful, but and I believe that we should respect people of all groups. But when people from these beneficiary groups, and I call the ones who have benefited from foundational black Americans' plights and fights beneficiaries, because you didn't really do anything, right? You are benefiting, right? When Byron Donalds talk about how his parents are Jamaican and Panamanian, and so they wouldn't benefit from reparations, bro. No, you benefited from the fight and the struggle. You benefited from the fight and the struggle, Byron, right? So that your Panamanian and Jamaican parents can come over here to America. You benefited from the fight. You got your reparations in some form because we went through it all, and now your people can benefit, right? This is how it works. So you guys let me know what you think. Let me prepare myself. Let me do a prayer so I can get into a few comments, right? Help me tame my spirit, Lord. You know I can control my face to an extent, but my mouth can be reckless. So, asking you, Amen. I gotta pray before I get with some of these demons in my check. I gotta pray because I mean, honestly, it's like some people they want the stereotype of black people. They want the stereotype, and they act like intelligent black people can't give it to them. Sometimes people be itching for that stereotype of black people so much, and then when you give it to them, they all victimized because they got it. Stop trying to get the stereotype of black people out, and then when you get it, you all a victim because of it. Don't play with me like that. Don't play with me. All right. So, anyways, racist. I'm not racist at all. Like, see, this is the thing. Low intelligent people will comprehend a conversation like this and deem it as racist. Why? Because they hear white people or they hear black looking immigrants. They're not listening to the context in which these groups are being expressed. They're just like, oh my God, I heard white looking people. She's a black racist. It's like, go sit down, calculate patterns of thoughts. You might be surprised at how many things are not racist, but your feelings have concluded them because you have low comprehension. It's funny that they like to attribute low IQs and comprehension to black Americans, but then when I hear these passionately ignorant people get on the mic, and they just start going in with accusations, it's like, God damn it, you are the real low IQ person. You are putting your shit on black Americans. You are. I like to, this is a truth. I'm telling the truth how it is. I'm not going to pander to anything that anybody wants to hear. Life is life. Reality is reality. And you just need to get out of the matrix. You need to get out the matrix, these artificial ideas and think tanks, and just get into reality. Get into reality. But anyways, you guys have the issue is single. We're not talking about single mothers, okay? And there's a lot of white single mothers, sir. Lots of white single mothers. Y'all love centering on black single mothers, but those bras are on welfare just as much as black women. All right? Y'all love putting every single negative aspect of society only on black women. But let me tell you something. You go down to some of these hobo rural white areas and see how some of them ignorant ass white folks are acting, and you parallel that to some of the stuff that y'all want to project about black people, same damn animals, right? You got single mothers of all races, not just black people, of all races. White men are leaving their women out here tricking and cheating just like black men. I don't know why you people want to act like you're so superior and like on like this higher pedestal, some of you, because you're not. A lot of you people are living the same projections of black people, and then for some reason you want to act like your environment is more superior. It's like just because you're in a trailer park and you guys do meth as opposed to smoking weed, you're not more superior. You're just not. And it's so sad to me that people are so ignorant to believe that they are. It's like you guys need to do a comprehensive study, observation of white poverty line folks and black poverty line folks. And what you will intelligently see is that they are the same damn animals. There's nothing more superior about them. And actually, white poverty line tells you that white privilege is a lie. When I look at white poverty line people, I automatically understand the lie of white privilege. Some of y'all ain't privileged. And I'll tell you another thing. I used to do employment recruiting. White privilege went out the door when nepotism was involved. Every single time. I had this one guy, he came from this like rural area in Michigan. Very smart guy, had a great dad, right? Guy taught him everything. And then I had this upper echelon white guy, right? From a very pristine part of Michigan. Skill set, mindset, passions were completely different. This guy could do the job and hit the ground running. But guess who got the job? The lower, the ritzy white dude, right? The one that did not have the skills. He could not hit the ground running. 2 weeks into it, he's still trying to figure out what to do. 2 months into it, he's asking people for mentorship. This dude wouldn't have had that, right? But because there was nepotism in play and his dad knew somebody that knew somebody, he got the job. So white privilege is really an illusion when nepotism is at play. And some of you white people are actually victims of nepotism, not black people taking your jobs. Like, it's crazy to me. If people understood how nepotistic some of these companies are, right? It really don't have a lot to do with racism. A lot of time it's really about I'm looking out for my people. That's why you have so many companies now, they're asking on applications, do you have a family member in this company? Do you know somebody in this company? Because now they realize it's a problem. And some companies choose to get a handle on the nepotism problem by eliminating the possibility of a family member having any impact on employment decisions. But keep it a buck. White privilege, I've seen it go out the door when nepotism was at play. And that's just reality, folks. That's just reality. You can run around with supremacy of any kind you want to, but it's a lie. You are a fleshly human being. Your body will decay and rot and turn to dust, just as Father has designed our bodies to do. Well, it wasn't really originally designed to die and turn to dust. We got to thank our fallen brothers, remember? Because they screwed everything up for us. Lucifer, you asshole, you screwed it up for everybody. I'm sure even the fellow fallen angels are like, you asshole, why did we listen to you? They lost Father's graces and everything. But y'all have a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think about delineation. Do you understand? Do you sympathize as to why there are many foundational Black Americans, ADOS, freemen, who are delineating now? Do you understand that that is not racism? That it is a part of our way of preserving our culture that is constantly being hijacked by these non-Black people, or these Black looking people placating as Black people, right? This is why we have Black delineation. Because for me, I got tired of being perplexed as to why all of my life I felt like there were Black looking people that did not like us. And now I understand why, because they're not like us. They don't have to like us. They don't have to be a part of our causes, and they can actually align with our enemies with zero consciousness about it. So that's why we're delineating. That's why we're delineating. So thank you to those who have tuned in. Peace and love to everybody of all colors. I'm not a racist. I got accused of being a racist so many times, but I love all my brothers and sisters who are in line and in union with Yahusha, the King in heaven. And that's just what it is. So have a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.